Hello and welcome back to the channel where I am fully caught up now. I just watched 5 this morning. Final Destination 5, which if you watched the last video, I disliked the Final Destination or Final Destination 4 so much. It was such an off-putting movie where it really had me questioning like, wow, why am I doing this? Like, why am I watching these movies? But anyway, we're on to 5, and I gotta say 5 might be the second best, might be the third best. I don't know. I feel like 5 right now is tied with 1 for me personally. It started off a little shaky. If I'm being honest with you, I thought the acting was a little like, and and also I mentioned the other one, but I just felt like it had like a commercial look. It just looked like a commercial to me. Now I will say by the end of it though, 5 looked way better visually, and especially the scenes where like the main character talking to his girl in the restaurant, well lit. Also his friend is kind of walking around when he's thinking about killing somebody. That was well lit too. So they stepped it up like as the movie went on, and I think the movie ends super strong, and we'll get to that ending in a minute. Okay, we're introduced to Sam and his friends. Okay, we're introduced to Sam and his friends and also coworkers who are on their way to this business retreat. Him and his girl break up, or his girl breaks up with them like before, which they never really go into like what it is. I guess it was just him moving to France, which is kind of like a deal breaker for her or something like that, or him not going to France maybe. Anyway, I kind of wish that this movie took place at the retreat, at the training retreat or whatever it was. I feel like that would have been a cool thing for Final Destination, like them just doing all these like I don't know where they were going to. I think they were just going to like it looked like they were crossing the San Francisco Bridge or something like that, and just going somewhere to do this retreat. But I wish it was like in Hawaii or something or Thailand, some kind of retreat there. I feel like that would be an interesting, just different look to these movies. But yeah, as they're on the bus, he totally has a premonition again of the bridge collapsing and everyone dying, this and that. So I mean, by this point, you know what's going on. For whatever reason, this franchise loves to use CGI blood. I don't understand it. Maybe that was a thing back then, in the mid 2000s or early 2000s, but it just looks awful. Honestly, it just looks so bad. Some of the effects look so bad, bro. It just doesn't. It immediately dates the movie. It immediately takes me out of the movie. I'm just like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is silly now. There's no threat of me being like, oh my god. It's just immediately like kind of like, ugh. It just does not look good on screen. I will mention Candace, who was the gymnast and girlfriend to his boy. She had like a very brutal death, even though it like was CG as fuck. But like, I don't know, man. As I got older, as a kid, you get scared of like Freddy Krueger. You get scared of like these bloody kind of like characters or these murderous kind of characters. But I remember watching The Dark Knight recently, and by recently I mean like probably like 2-3 years ago, and a scene that like didn't scare me necessarily, but kind of like was like oof, made me go like ugh, taken aback, was when he's like, I think it's Carmine Falcone, he's like interrogating him. He's like, where's the Joker at? Who's Harvey? Where's Harvey? And Carmine's like, I'm not telling you anything, and he just drops him off like a 2-story like building, and you just see his legs like buckle, and he's immediately like walking with like a cane the rest of the movie. That made me go like ugh. So any body thing, I think as I get older and as I get like older in age especially, I'm just kind of more of like ugh, squeamish towards those kind of things, just because those could like realistically happen. God forbid I take a fall or something like that. It's things I might actually have to deal with. I'm not gonna have to deal with like water hitting my light and then it's sparking, and then like my camera falling, and then my camera falls and hits my shoe, which triggers a gun that I have under my bed that shoots me in the head. You know what I'm saying? Just this shit's not gonna happen. So any body thing is more realistically to happen. So her death was brutal as hell, especially because I thought she was gonna step on the nail the whole time, which she didn't. And yeah, she just got like folded up like a pretzel, man. That shit was nuts. And we do see the return of my boy Tony, the Candyman. He makes an appearance back as a coroner who kind of just tells you people, y'all cheated death. Again, he always has that fucking, hey, y'all fucking up. Y'all cheating death, which I thought was, he always has the same role, but it's just funny. And he's super consistent in all of them. So I always like seeing Tony pop up again. A standout character for me, I don't know if he's my favorite. Maybe just because he's so over the top and such a 2000s character, was Palmer, who was Rugrat in The Wolf of Wall Street, who I immediately recognized because I love that movie. He's just so over the top, such a dick, just always on the phone, walking around, just minding, like in his own world, not like really paying attention to anything. Even in the premonition, he's like taking a shit and then comes out and like everything's falling apart. He's like, "What happened? Like you didn't hear anything, bro?" You know what I'm saying? Like such a dickhead. But he goes to this agent spot. He's still somebody's like massage coupon goes to this massage thing and is like super like trying to do innuendos with the host, with the receptionist who was very attractive, honestly. I gotta give her that. She was very, very attractive. But anyway, yeah, he's trying to like, it was just gonna be a happy ending to this massage. Is anything going on? Like, I don't know. He's so silly that he kind of like it was a little charming to me. Cause she sends in this old like Asian lady who just starts beating the fuck out of him, really. I mean, he's like she's giving him a massage, but she's like tearing him up. And you just see him accept his fate and be like, you know what, all right, fuck it, let's go. Like I'll take it. Totally like a go with like the flow kind of guy, which I could appreciate. He gets some acupuncture done, and things go to hell once again. He falls over on his face. All the needles kind of like go into his face, his body. It was pretty brutal. Especially because like the needles, I don't know. I imagine those needles are thin. The ones they had on him looked like screws or nails. Like it was pretty nasty. And then a Buddha statue, which has to weigh like in this movie, it had to weigh a ton because it just smashes his head. You imagine like a Buddha statue falling on you, it'll break or it'll kind of like bounce on your head, but it just totally like smashed his head completely, which was another ridiculous scene, but I don't know. I appreciated it. I thought it was funny. Okay, so I do want to talk about Olivia's death in the movie, who had probably the gnarliest, for me personally, because I wear glasses, one of the worst deaths ever. Where she goes to get LASIK done and it just goes horribly wrong, horribly, horribly wrong. The laser starts going everywhere, it starts cutting her eyeball, it starts like cutting her hand. Just terrible, terrible, man. If I ever needed a reason not to get laser eye surgery, that's gonna be it for now on. I also love the fact that like as she survives the surgery or the botched surgery, she like is running around just yelling help me, and then she runs out the window, and like the force she must have ran at this window because it just completely just shatters and she just falls down on a car, bounces off the car, falls on the ground. Her eyeball fucking rolls down the street, and then and then you see the eye kind of expanding, the pupil expanding, and and the car just runs it over. Like it's done, man. She's it's done. She's cooked. She was fried. I mentioned it earlier, but I do gotta say I really enjoyed the ending to this movie, especially the connection. I mentioned it in one of the earlier reviews that there's a connection to this movie and the first one. It's kind of a prequel in a way. I really, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the whole ending sequence with his friend kind of like losing his mind a little bit after his girl dies, and it's kind of talking about like replacing people or like, and they never really mentioned that like if I kill somebody, would it skip me? Which I thought was an interesting concept. I got to say though, my man Sam was getting knocked out a little too much to my liking. A hit here and he'd just go flying, or he'd get like laid out, and I was just like, what's going on? He's chinny, so he needs to get that chin checked out. But yeah, homeboy losing his mind, and then the way he gets killed is pretty rough as well. Especially because he like at that point he kind of has nothing to live for because like his girl died, and then he's talking about he kills the officer or the detective who's on the case the whole movie, and he's just like, I have to kill you now, like to the to his girl or to his friend's girl, because she's just like, you witnessed me. I'm not gonna like spend the rest of his life that I just earned in jail, which I thought was a pretty good line. Anyway, they take care of him. They're kind of walking around later, and they decide to both go to France, where he's gonna do this apprenticeship in France as a chef. And as they're on the plane, they're all boarded up. A ruckus happens, and they look across, and they see Carter, who I never would thought make another appearance in these movies. He's there. Carter's arguing with Alex again, and they're getting kicked off the plane. Then you see his ticket and it says Flight 180, which I thought was very, very cool, very interesting. Everyone dies, bro. Everyone dies, which I thought was very interesting, which is something like you figure going into these, but there's always the one-offs. I think in part two, the main girl and the cop survived. I think those are the only two survivors in the whole franchise. So I'm curious if they come back in Bloodlines. I haven't watched any of the trailers, just a teaser they showed in theaters, so I'm very curious. But yeah, a pretty solid addition to the Final Destination franchise. I'm fully caught up now. I'm looking forward to Bloodlines. Any predictions for Bloodline? For my boy Roman, but any prediction for Bloodlines? Not really, bro. I have no expectations of this shit at all. I saw it's gonna be a little longer. It's an hour and 40, so I'm kind of, I enjoy these being short. So I'm very curious about how it's gonna play out with the longer time frame, but we shall see. But yeah, guys, gonna do it for this video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, comment what was your favorite in the franchise so far. What you think about part 5, and what did you think about the connection between this movie and the first one? It's going to do for this video, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, I will see you for Final Destination Bloodline. Till next time. Peace.